things sorted out in the race channel. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rando? We are off, boys and girls. Both of our runners going to check the first chest. It is just an arrow capacity upgrade.
So both of our runners got the same idea. Pretty standard starting at Link's house and heading up towards Uncle, grabbing the sign here so they can get that first tree pull.
So, for those who aren't sure here, the prize for tree pulls are based on the number of enemies you have defeated, as well as how much damage you have taken. So there's different prizes for the pulls depending. And Rich Uncle leaving the inheritance for Link there, 300 rupees right off the bat.
Oh yeah, you gotta love seeing a bunch of early rupees that allows both these runners to be able to check. Oh jeez. It allows them to check the bottle vendor, buy bombs if they need it. Wow, 600 rupees right off the bat.
And we got drugs in the sanctuary. Someone is using shrooms in church, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, we did just see our first map check here. Looks like Eastern Palace and Desert Palace are both crystals, and I believe Tower of Pharaoh was the red pendant.
That is correct. So both of our runners now heading up to check probably Lumberjack Cave. And let's see. When I first saw that Nature Link sprite, I thought he was wearing a trench coat, but you know.
Yeah, it's interesting how it looks. I thought that it was just like a tan colored like trench coat over everything as well, but no.
Alright, I completely missed what item was there in Lumberjack Cave due to my own technical difficulties.
I don't believe it was anything worth anything really worth going out of their way for, so as of right now I don't believe Aghanim is on the table quite yet.
Okay, so it looks like Chad is saying that we had Lumberjack Cave, so
and we have the flute immediately here.
Das Flute. That's definitely going. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, that's definitely something I like seeing early on. Gives them a lot of movement options and ways they can get to different areas of the map really quickly. Especially having that mushroom, they can turn that mushroom really quickly. So really great find early on.
Both runners avoiding the soldiers there because they have yet to acquire a weapon. And both of them following exactly the same route now, and quite frankly, you can't blame them. But it is time to check out Lion's Hut. And it looks like we just got money and a little bit of love here in Blind's Hut today.
Yeah, not much happening here. Just another piece of heart.
Alright, so we got 3 pieces of heart already. Early on, we have mushroom and we have the flute here early on in the game. Now, the mushroom could lead to absolutely anything. Could lead to ultimate fetch quest, you know. Mushroom to shovel to powder to right. And there's some power. It is the power glove. It is so bad.
And just another piece of heart. So I see giving them a little bit of health early on. And even more rupees there.
So lots of money so far. Nobody's going to have any problems buying whatever Zora is selling today. Of course, Zora does specialize in life lessons. There is the cape, and that is not something you want to see really early on in the game because that raises the possibility that you may have to go to Aghanim.
Yeah, find that cape. I mean, if I'm these runners, I don't want to find the lamp next, because
Right.
that would be a big red arrow pointing toward Aghanim.
And for both of our runners, the goose is loose. Probably, yeah, as you see here, they will go ahead and clean up Kakariko Village.
And we're pretty much synced right now. This is pretty amazing.
That sink. Everything but the kitchen sink. We could keep going, but I can feel all of your enthusiasm sinking at the moment, so I'll stop. Now, interesting that both of our runners chose to buy bombs here, even though they each had 4.
I think they may be preparing to go once they do head down into the southern part of Hyrule to the mini Moldorm cave. They really don't have anything other than bombs that they'd be able to use to kill them. So that may be in preparation for that.
And we just got arrows on the library shelf. We are not going to be coming back for those anytime soon. And neither one of them decides to just go ahead and YOLO the race game.
And there's the
Which
bow.
one we should have, because we have the bow. That has got to be a relief for our runners, because the bow is one of those items like the ice rod, Cane of Samaria, that tend to troll you, right? So having the bow this early is good. It also allows both of our runners, if they're capable of doing Eastern Palace Dark, which I imagine both of them are, can go ahead and knock out a crystal early.
Yeah, that's a really great find for both these runners. I was just commentating a race last night where the race came down to where the bow was. So it's a great find early on.
And still in sync after fluting away. Just some explosives at the dam today, though. Let's see what is under the water.
Yeah, let's see if we have some soggy progression.
As the chat says, if they didn't have different sprites, how would they go the same stream with a slight delay on one? I agree. I have not seen two runners this much in sync for this long in a very long time. Let's see which one of them has better luck with the mini Moldorms. The mini Moldorms movement is randomized somewhat, not by the randomizer devs, mind you, but just by the standard game.
Yeah, their AI can be a bit wonky at times. Can be a bit unfortunate.
So MoucheronQuipet has a much better time with them. We got some powder, we got more little love, big love, and bombs.
Alright, I'll be interested to see where Moucheron does go from here. If they decide to go turn in that mushroom while they've got the flute, or if they go straight towards Eastern. There we go. There's a mushroom.
It's like you read his mind. Let's see if we are going to still be in sync. Yes, Zapha Beeblebrox also is turning in his mushroom.
Wow. This is quite amazing. You typically would see some sort of divergence from runners at this point, but either these runners have done their homework and have
oh, we got
wow.
flips.
There's our flippers.
We've got flips. Now Moucheron is fluting away. He has 4 items he could have gotten up in Zora's domain, as does Zaphod. They were right there.
It looks like... Well, it looks like Moucheron is going to go through the the whirlpool there.
Yeah, 6
That
one,
may-
half dozen of the other.
Yeah, might be just a tad bit quicker, but there's our first sword upgrade.
And that's key. Moucheron has a sword now. But let us see what the Ice Rod Cave holds today. It's just explosives. So that did not work out. Although, that's one of those locations that if you don't check it, it's going to be haunting you the rest of the run.
Yeah, typically if you don't check that, then there's gonna be something there. At least that's the luck that I've had. So
Alright, so looks like Zaphod is also going to head up Whirlpool. Right, but he's going to check Lake Hylia Island first as we see what kind of life lesson Zora has today. Yeah, that's a life lesson. $50 on Lake Hylia Island. Nobody's going to be coming back for that. Zaphod, however, probably going to go ahead and check out Hobo.
meanwhile, Moucheron may be going to check the back of Escape here with that glove that he found.
Alright, Hobo. Just a $5.
Wow, so those flippers not really turning into anything.
Other than a sword.
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay, we got a key, we got 10 arrows and a 5-arrow upgrade. And nothing yet, progression-wise. We only have a few locations left that we can really check at this point. We've got Sahasrah's Closet, we've got Spectacle Rock Cave, and we've got Hyrule Castle Dungeon. Now remember, our runners do have the cape, which means they can do Aghanim, but they'd have to find a lantern first.
Yeah, going into Aghanim without the lamp is really tough. And those are probably some of the most difficult dark rooms because there's pits on either side.
And I believe that the consensus is that Aga Tower is the most difficult section to do dark. Yes, we do have Agana's Cave as well. We've got Agana and Aghanim, so sometimes it's tough. Let's see who goes where. Moucheron says, I'm going eastern. Probably check out Sahasrah's Closet. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's a really good choice after finding that bow.
He actually has 10 arrows for that bow. So Zaphod, on the other hand, is going to go somewhere else. Okay, he's going to check out the escape sewers here, and he's going to be extraordinarily disappointed, as we know. But oh, Turtle Rock is the green pendant, so saith Sahasrah. We got a fairy in a bottle. We got the wrong cane, and we got 300 rupees again. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say I hate to see Turtle Rock being that green pendant. If I'm gonna do Turtle Rock, I want to know it's a crystal because I mean, come on, who likes going into pendant dungeons?
Yeah, exactly. Turtle Rock required, as our restreamer OPT lawyer says. Zaphod's showing off some darkroom skills here. He is heading into Dark Escape. Nicely done so far. Have to keep a lookout for when he opens a treasure chest. Meanwhile, Moucheron checking the first cave here in Eastern, or the first treasure chest, and we got a big key, first chest.
Alright, so there was only a heart container in the dark. So that sequence break not really yielding any items?
But you can't really complain about a full heart container, though.
Oh no, definitely not.
But you're absolutely correct that we want some progression, and we're not getting it. Alright, so Moucheron finds big 20 in the first chest of Eastern. That is number 1 out of 3 items that could possibly be in Eastern.
And Zaphod going to go and check the first part of Escape here.
This could be interesting if, because some people will save Castle Basement till kind of last if they're not getting progression items, and then if they don't find anything in Hyrule Castle Dungeon, they will go ahead and do Aghanim if they can. Zaphod has shown he's capable of doing Dark Escape. Is he capable of doing Dark Agatower? We're about to find out while Moucheron finds the second item in Eastern Palace.
And Moucheron's just going to go ahead and gamble and not go for that other item. But is making very good use of the Cane of Burna here.
And Brian being very helpful in that dark room. There's the Fire Rod in Escape!
Oh man.
That is important. Moucheron needs to watch his arrows there, as he's going to need those for the Armos Knights. Ah, it's so satisfying taking out the wall and chain guard with one shot of the Fire Rod. All right, so Zaphod finds much worth in the Fire Rod. The Fire Rod is always a required item regardless of the seed. So Zaphod finding some good progression there. Now where does he head off to? It looks like he's heading off to the same place Moucheron is.
And we'll find out really quick here from Moucheron if that last chest that he had skipped holds the progression. He's got to be really careful with those arrows. It's going to take 18 arrows if he does this perfectly. And there we go. And this is the map, so he did skip over an item.
Yeah. So the logic will always require... The logic treats the Fire Rod as a required item for Ganon's Tower. So yes, you can technically get through without the Fire Rod, but the logic includes it.
So, see where Moucheron goes after checking the Ice Rod Cave and getting a little bit of disappointment here.
So, it's key there that Moucheron skipped the vanilla big key location. That we know that is an item. So, that could be important. It could be absolutely meaningless. It might just be a big green, right?
Right. I mean, it would be very detrimental if it is a required item.
Moosh taking care of rescuing the old man here. Let's see what the old man has. He has a squirrel block for Moucheron.
No. Those dead rocks are annoying.
Oh, it's a master sword from the old man. Nice little sequence break there. That's an example of a sequence break that's not required or that isn't technically a progression item, but is really nice to have right now. Moucheron, taking a death to the cabbages wouldn't have been that bad, because he would have been able to just restart at the mountain cave, but that did waste a fairy. Or perhaps I miscounted, because Zaphod does not appear to be going around. There's the mirror in Spectacle Rock Cave.
Yeah, I may have miscounted there myself as well. I don't know how I missed it.
Not either, but we have Magic Mirror on Spectacle Rock Cave. That is going to open up access to Tower of Hera, which, although it is a pendant dungeon, at this point you basically can't refuse to go in.
Yeah, I think the only thing at this point that, I mean, unless the lamp's in there, I know Moucheron hasn't gone to go get the fire rod yet. So unless the lamp's in there, they could possibly have to double dip it if there is a required item in the basement.
That is possible. No one ever likes having to double dip for Hera basement, but
Let alone pendant Hera basement.
yeah. And on Spectacle Rock is a little piece of love, which I would not skip. I'd just go ahead and grab it, because why not? There's the bunny beam form of Link right there that you were talking about earlier.
It's great. I love it.
Alright, so both are about 20, we'll call it 22 minutes in. Both of our runners have their first crystal. And go ahead.
Gotta love seeing that big key right there. That means that Moucheron is not locked out of this dungeon quite yet.
The question is, will there, as you were mentioning earlier, will there be an item down there that they need to go to? So just a big 20 on Desert Ledge, Zaphod is found out, and so Zaphod's going to check Agonuz Cave. Meanwhile, Moucheron is going to go ahead and take care of Tower of Hera. Like I said, at this point, it's kind of tough to refuse.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the game's pretty much giving you everything that you need to be able to complete this dungeon. It even gives you a Master Sword to kind of make Moldorm a bit more manageable.
Oh, Moon Pearl! Moon Pearl in Angina's Cave, that's right.
Wow.
So nice pickup from Zaphod, but he still does not have Dark World access. Now, what is Sick Kid gonna have today? He's got the Ice Rod!
Oh, that just even makes Turtle Rock being a pendant dungeon even more... Oh, just makes even more of a possibility. Ugh. But meanwhile, on Moucheron's side here, all we found so far in Tower of Hera is a bug net. We did find the key already, so Moldorm could have the second item. If Moldorm doesn't have the second item, then Moucheron will not be able to complete the dungeon and check the Tower of Hera basement.
Oh no, and Trolldorm lives up to his name. Oh, and he falls twice!
Middle hole, so yeah, he falls down 2 floors there.
Zaphod getting his upgrade to a Master Sword. And it looks like I can't imagine he would do anything else other than follow in Moucheron's steps here and head straight on into Tower of Hera. But you brought up a good point there, Ecos. Zaphod has the Fire Rod, which means if Trolldorm drops a dungeon item, Zaphod will be able to find out what the second item is.
And we should get information here very shortly as Moucheron does take down Trolldorm here.
And
finds
there
the
it is.
map. Oh, so there is an item in the basement.
Okay, so we will have to wait and see once Zaphod heads into Tower of Hera. If he heads into Tower of Hera, he may not. But and you know, he does a save and quit. He does not head into Tower of Hera. Okay. Just getting a health refill, and that may have been a little bit faster than walking back out of Spectacle Rock Cave.
All right, and meanwhile, Moucheron is going to go and probably kick themselves a little bit to pick up their fire rod here in a moment. So we will be seeing here very shortly if Zaphod does find that other piece of progression, and we do see a map check here. 5 and 6 are Misery Mire and Pod, whereas the other blue pendant is in Thieves Town. So I gotta say, the two pendants in the Dark World are probably my least favorite locations for pendants. Typically because of, of course, Turtle Rock being Turtle Rock, but Thieves Town being almost immediately accessible once you get into Dark World, and having it be a pendant, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to Thieves Town. I because, like you said, because it is one of the first accessible dungeons most of the time in the Dark World. I don't care what. I have yet to see a run where somebody doesn't go into Thieves Town. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't skip it. Sorry, I'm old and words are hard, and it's late at night, so that did not come out as well as it should have. Alright, so Moucheron has found his... Not only interesting, too, though, Moucheron, because he waited until now to get to go into Hyrule Castle, he has the mirror, so he can just mirror out to the beginning and check multiple aspects of this dungeon very quickly.
Yeah, and we will see Moucheron go into the dark portion of Hyrule Castle here.
I cannot tell where Moucheron is. Okay, there he is. There's his little sword sparklies.
Yeah, make really good use of the fire rod to light the torch there so we can see where the chest is.
Oh, no, Zaphod.
Control Room strikes again.
Yeah, at least Zaphod doesn't fall 2 levels down.
And see where Moucheron heads. Probably turn in the bottle to the sick kid here.
Get his $5 bill. Oh, no, that's right. I'm sorry. That's the ice rod. Yeah, see, I told you I'm old. Alright. Trolldorm trying to strike again against Zaphod here. Nice tap to end it off there. Ooh. Alright, Moucheron is going to go grab his Rune Pearl.
Alright, and now is the moment of truth here to see if the basement is indeed hiding the key to really opening up this seed.
And we are running out of locations here. I think, yeah, actually, according to what I am tracking right now, Hera Basement is the last accessible location for our runners right now.
So, that being said, what do you think's going to be here? Do you think it'll be boots or our Dark World access? Maybe the lamp for Aghanim?
it has to be Dark World access or the lamp. Well, it doesn't have to be, but more than likely it will be. The hookshot giving us access to East Death Mountain and the 8 items that are over there, but
Alright, so for people not knowing what's going on over here on Zaphod's side, if you use the cape and you grab onto a wall, you actually will not drain magic.
wow, that is the first. Oh no!
Oh, and he gets
Zaphod
stuck!
got stuck.
So he's got to go back and do the basement again?
Yes, he does. Oh wow. That
We'll be,
you hate to see that kind of thing happen.
yeah. But, you know, once again, that does bring us back to being pretty much synced right up again.
That's sync, yo.
Damn, both runners having the same idea here. Both using the cape and grabbing onto the wall.
I've been playing this for a while, and I have never seen that before, so it's amazing the stuff you can learn just by watching races.
Alright, let's see if Zaphod decides to play it a bit safer this time and...
Zaphod, there's a switch in the next room. It's okay. All right, moment of truth here. It's the boots.
And it's the boots!
Good call, Nikos. All right, after this, you and I are going to go get some lottery tickets.
Alright.
But
Get some lottery tickets, I'll make sure I pick you the winning numbers.
yeah. But here's the other thing. That only opens up one location, and that's Bonctuary. So we're back where we were a minute ago. Is it going to be Hammer? Is it going to be the lamp? If it's the lamp, they're going to have to go to Aga. So now another moment of truth. It's the lamp.
It's the
Aghanim
lamp.
time.
Alright, we have an
Aghanim.
Aghanim seed.
Yeah. Aga is required. It is their only choice at this point.
And Moucheron not wasting any time. Gonna go straight up there.
I mean, it is the only option left.
People in the chat already calling out for Agaped. Well, we're one piece of the puzzle away from that.
So looking at what is required here, let's see, what could still be on pedestal? Book could be on pedestal, because that is possible, right?
We could
That would
have,
be a paradox.
could
The
have hookshot on
required,
the pedestal.
yes, hookshot could be on pedestal. The required medallion for Misery Mire could be on pedestal. That's about it for pedestal height, as far as required items on pedestal. So, not much to talk about in Aga Tower. It's always the same, and there are 0 items in Aghanim's Tower. So this is a good time to remind everybody, if you are enjoying what you are watching today, are you not entertained? Because of course you are. If you are, make sure you give these runners a follow here on Twitch. They are putting in work for your entertainment, and why don't you give them a follow, show them you appreciate what they're doing. Additionally, if you like, if you need more Link to the Past Randomizer action, that is the name of this channel. Literally, the name of this channel is a Link to the Past Randomizer. So give this channel a follow. There is much more action coming your way in this tournament. We will talk about that at the conclusion of this race. But thanks for watching, and it is time to clear out Aghanim 1. So, chat, how many blue balls do you think Aghanim is going to shoot at our runners today?
I'm thinking 3. What do you think?
5. I'm in the mood for some trolley stuff right now.
All I gotta say is that if it is 3, then I will definitely be going to get lottery tickets after this.
Indeed. You're splitting the proceeds with me. Alright, man, here we are 35 minutes in, and we're like 30 seconds apart here.
And there's one blue ball. There's the second.
Is that 3?
Just 2 so far. There's
okay,
number
there's
3.
3. Okay.
And 4. Okay, so
Maroccato.
I'm bad.
Alright, come on. We got one more. I said 5. Come on. Un autre.
There's 5.
Numéro 5. Alright. I win.
Alright. So I'd say we make a pretty good team here with our guessing games, right?
That's right. Alright, so this really doesn't open up too many locations, as chat has already noted. This only opens up pyramid item, catfish, and pod. So, what is? We got triple booms on pyramid, so that doesn't.
All right, and Moucheron gonna go straight over to Palace of Darkness here.
I got a question in chat. Let me just answer this question in chat. We got, for the randomizers, what do the red crystals mean? So that means those are crystals 5 and 6, which are the crystals that you need to have in randomizer to get access to the big bomb that opens up the Fat Fairy's fountain on the pyramid. Apologize. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just saying it's a little interesting to see that neither of the runners decided to go to Catfish, because there's really no reason to go back up there. So sometimes you'll see runners decide to go and check that first before coming into Pod. Especially if they've already gone up to Zora and the Waterfall of Wishing, and just to knock that out.
Well, we'll see if Pod turns out to be a bust, which it's kind of hard for it to turn out to be a bust, because it has 5 items in here, and the odds of it having at least one progression item relatively high. So I would surmise that they're going to find something that will lead them elsewhere. It'd be very difficult for them to get the items that they can get here in Pod, and not find something that will lead them elsewhere on the map. As the chat is pointing out, hammer on catfish would be trolley as sin right about now.
Alright, and so far Palace of Darkness is kind of living up to its name. A whole bunch of keys so far.
So there are two items that are absolutely required to beat Pod, and that's the hammer and the bow. They have the bow, they don't have the hammer. But without the hammer, they can access all but one possible item location here in Pod. And there's the big key. Something either here in Pod or in Catfish, or at Catfish, is going to have to lead our runners somewhere, because those are the only locations available to them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you don't find hammer here, then you're hoping for the hook shot, so you can get access to the rest of the light world. I think that's really the only other item that they can find here that would give them some sort of progression, if I'm not mistaken.
It's true. Titan's Mitts would assist as well, but...
Oh, that's right.
But I think the hook shot would break open the most possibilities right now. As you mentioned, it would give them access to East Side, Light World, Death Mountain. It would also give them access to the rest of Dark World by being able to hook shot across the river.
And there's our tempered sword. So we're running short on locations here. Want to say what, 3 more locations before they are hammerlock.
Yep. And tempered sword, while great to have, is not a progression item.
And just like that, we're pretty much mirrored right now. The sync is spot on here.
Yeah, the sync is real. I am not aware of any race I've commentated where the runners have been this close, this far into the race, this many times. And there's the hammer! Oh my gosh!
Alright, so there's the next piece of our progression. And that means we can also fully clear out Palace of Darkness.
Wow. That is, wow. That's like one of the last things you would expect in Randomizer, right? To find an item in its vanilla dungeon.
Yeah, I'm 1 chest away from its vanilla location, even.
True.
Yeah, finding that hammer here is huge. That allows them, Village of Outcasts access. They get access to Hype Cave. It's a really great item that also opens up the bat, the powder bat. I don't know what I want to call that, but I'll just go with that.
The bat.
So, huge piece of progression there for him.
As our tracker says, this is the easiest race to track ever. Yeah, when the runners are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Yeah, going back to what you said earlier, I've never seen a race where the runners have been synced up so many times as often as they are, as late in the run as they are even. This is really truly amazing for both these runners.
So they're definitely evenly matched. A lot of times you'll see runners be seconds behind each other at Ganon's Tower, but they'll have done a significantly different route through the game and they'll converge at Ganon's Tower, right? But this is, as someone in the chat said earlier, if I didn't know better, I think it was the same game. being restreamed twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, Hammer opens everything. I could go down the list of locations they just opened up by finding the Hammer. Hype Cave, first part of Swamp Palace, Old Stumpy, Alec Baldwin's Digging Game, all of Thieves Town. I mean, Skull Woods, I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, and Zaphod, does he have a fairy?
Yes,
Okay,
he
there we go.
does. Where does Moucheron head from here? Now that he has the hammer, the world is his oyster.
If I'm him, I go toward Village of Outcasts. Oh, he's
Agreed.
maybe going to Hype Cave first.
That would work as well, but I would have to agree with you, Ecos. I head straight to Skull Woods and Steve's Town at this point.
We'll see if Zaphod channels my energy here.
But at least for what I'm saying, though, there's a reason these guys are in the tournament and I'm not. So
exactly, and once again, both doing the exact same thing, going to Hype Cave first. What are the odds? You know, wow.
All right, so Hype Cave is. Ooh, we got Shovel.
Yes.
Okay.
So not an entire bust here, unless that shovel doesn't turn into anything.
Yeah. Signal C in the chat rightly pointing out here that the amount of hearts that they have is relatively terrifying, especially considering that they only have the green mail. That is an astute observation. Luckily, they do have Tempered Sword, which assuages that pain somewhat, because they can kill enemies a lot faster, but...
Yeah, and, you know, they do know where a mail upgrade is if they do want to take that safety, being in the Lumberjack Cave after having, you know, killed Aghanim now.
Just a big 20 at Dig Spot. Moucheron gonna check cave south of Grove. And just how close are these runners, man? Amazing. They're the mitts!
Wow. So that's the last piece of the puzzle for, you know, full options to access Dark World.
Yeah, absolutely. There are very few locations now that are not accessible to our runners.
So the only one that really comes to mind that I can think of would be the Hookshot Cave.
Right, there's the top of Hookshot Cave. They cannot access any of Turtle Rock at the moment. They can't access the tablets or pedestal or Swamp Palace, but that's about it. Everything else in the game is open to them right now. Moucheron checking out Alec Baldwin's Digging Game.
So many digs for some red goo.
I can't say that I'd be terribly disappointed in finding red goo. An extra bottle, particularly with the number of hearts that we have at this point in the game.
Yeah, especially with where they're heading. If they don't find a mail upgrade on their way to Mothula, they may need that red goo, as you know, Mothula does hit really hard with all those spikes in the room as well.
Moucheron gonna go on a very short Froggy tour today. No need for a world tour today. We have the hammer, or yeah, and the Titan Spits. So now we can hit the bat that you were talking about, which is where I got a hammer in my just a big 20. Our tracker Jeremy Tremor reminding us, if our run a mail upgrade, they can always go to the Lumberjack Cave.
Yep, and that's why I mentioned just a few moments ago that they do know where there is a mail upgrade if they are uncomfortable with where they're headed. Um, so,
And the bat. Big love from the bat.
you know, I would not be upset with that heart, especially, once again, coming back to their amount of health with where they're headed.
Agreed. I think at this point you go into Steve's town. Yeah, that looks like exactly what Moucheron is going to do here. After, of course, he does pegs. At some point, you would think at some point we're going to have a significant route divergence here. With the number of locations that are open to our runners at this point, you would have to think that one of them is going to make a different choice than the other one sometime in this race.
Yeah, at some point, I mean, if I had to guess, it may be a route divergence at Swamp and Ice Palace. But once again, I don't know.
Oh no, here we go. Here's a route divergence right now. Zaphod is going to go ahead and turn in the lunchbox.
All right, so finally going to start making the tracker's job a little bit more difficult here. And it's the Ether Medallion.
Ooh, that could be extremely significant based on the fact that we do have Misery Mire is a required dungeon. If it is Ether, that's big.
All right, and so Moucheron is heading into Pendant Thieves Towns.
And that's gotta be Kane in Thieves Town.
I've been waiting this entire race for that. All right, so with Kane of Samaria, I mean that depending on what medallion is required for Turtle Rock, as well as Misery Mire, that could open up both of those dungeons, completely for these guys.
Yeah, at this point, we really just need Hookshot and whatever medallion's required for Misery Mire, and we're in go mode. And we're under an hour in already. So Moucheron is going to go ahead and finish out Thieves Town. I don't at all blame him for that.
I don't either. I mean, there's a total of 4 items that can be here. That's a rather quick dungeon as well. Plus, they do have, a bunch of safeties for blind, even though they do have somewhat low health and green mail. I mean, they can make use of the Cane of Burna, now even the Cane of Samaria if they decide to go with that. They have, sword beams, the list goes on and on.
So Moucheron is up on the second floor, and those darn grasshoppers, crickets, whatever the heck they are. Sorry.
Yeah, probably my least favorite enemy in the game. Now the boots make those a little bit safer, but something happened to me the other day where something happened with the screen transition. I actually died in a screen transition because I ended up getting hit by a grasshopper even though I was dashing through it. So I hate those enemies.
Oh wow. That seems a little unfair.
There's the map in Blind's chest there. I believe
Zephod
there's...
replenishing his fairy, too.
Now, is there 1 or 2 more items left?
I have not been counting.
Okay, so that was the 1 item. So the Blind will have the compass, so Moucheron is going to go ahead and head on out of here.
It's a pretty safe bet that this isn't a pedestal required seed at this point, because this... Well, the hook shot could be on the pedestal now that I think about it.
Yeah. I mean,
So pedestal hype is not necessarily dead.
yeah, we have the hook shot, and once again, whatever medallion is required for Misery Mire could be on there as well. As well as even the book that could lead to those other items, so it's really up in the air now.
We're all heading on into Skull Woods, and why not? It is a crystal dungeon.
And with as many items as these runners have found already, I'd be interested to see if this does have some sort of progression. Considering the reputation that Skullwoods has.
Skullwood's new name in version 27 has been Value Woods, so... And there's the silvers.
Alright, so that's going to put their minds at ease here, knowing that they aren't going to have to face Ganon without silver arrows. And once again, we do see a route divergence. I didn't see what Misery Mire's pendant was, or medallion was.
I did not. I was too busy seeing Moucheron pick up the half magic in Skull Woods, so that is both of its items. So he's just going to run straight to Mothula now. There will be no more checking chests. So chat is telling us Misery Mire is Ether, which means Zephod has everything he needs to complete Misery Mire at this point. Gonna go ahead and check Checkerboard Cave. If Checkerboard Cave is the hookshot, Zephod is in go mode. It is not.
Just a heart container.
And Zephod goes ahead and picks it up. I can't say that that's a bad decision at all. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. There is one item that we are looking for now. That item is the hook shot. But the funny thing is, that hook shot can be pretty much anywhere. I think the only place it can't be right now is in past a certain point in Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Anything past that big chest, aside from that, it can really be anywhere now.
To answer a question from chat, so I was asking, is the book needed for Go mode? No, it is not, because with Titan's Mitts and the mirror, you can get into Desert Palace. Moucheron taking a death from Mothula, but he does have a fairy.
And so far, we've only seen one item here in Desert, and there's our second item. Both of them being heart containers.
All right. Oh, Zephod.
Oh no.
Don't you hate it when you hit the wrong button?
I do. Especially when it's that far away. Ugh.
Yeah. We've all done it. Don't lie. If you say you've never done it, you haven't played enough Link to the Past Randomizer. So I wonder where Moucheron is headed from here. He could be headed to check Cape Cave. I don't know why he's walking out this way.
He may head over to Lumberjack Cave to get the blue mail.
That wouldn't be bad, and to kind of combining that with a Cape Cave check would be pretty smart routing. Let's see. All right, it is a heart container on Cape Cave. It looks like he's not going to bother with that, but yeah, you're right, Ecos. He is going to go ahead and grab that blue mail.
Yeah, I definitely do not blame him for coming up here to grab the blue mail. I mean, the last thing you want to do is be at Ganon and not having a mail upgrade and accidentally hugging him for 8 hearts of damage, so...
Hey, Ganon hugs are the best hugs. So Moucheron changes his fig leaf out for a new model.
Trying to figure out what kind of leaf that could be.
I don't know, but it goes well with a banana hat. Get it? Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Alright, so we've got Landmos down.
And we'll get to see what the King's Tomb here has. Another heart container.
Big love.
So this seed is finally giving them a bit more health.
Zaphod is gonna dive down into Mire. Don't blame him, he's right there with a desert.
Yeah, it's great when you can combine the two together, one right after the other there.
Absolutely. You can do that with, obviously you can do that with Desert and Mire. You can also do that with Pod and Eastern in the right seed.
And Moucheron is now heading on over to the Desert and Misery Mire area.
Now, Zaphod may have more life or more hearts than Moucheron, but Moucheron has the blue mail, so technically he has double the health of what you see on the screen if you need to compare apples to apples with Zaphod. I did not see what Zaphod just picked up in Misery Mire.
It was just a small key.
Okay. Because there's going to be a hype moment here coming up very soon when one of our runners finds the hook shot. That is going to be go mode. Regardless of which runner picks it up. Actually, no, I take that back. Moucheron has not found Ether yet.
Oh. So Moucheron won't be able to go into Misery Mire yet.
And Moucheron accidentally hits the mirror as well.
Alright, we need to take the mirror away from both of these runners. Moucheron switching over to the cape so he doesn't do it again.
Just in case. So Mire, the odds of finding hookshot in Mire are rather low. Mire only has 2 items, but never can tell.
And we still haven't found an item yet.
And chat wisely pointing out, pedestal is totally in play for hookshot.
Yeah, the more locations that we can notch off that list, the better that probability of hookshot being there becomes.
I do not remember where Ether was. Do you? Oh, that's right. It was Purple Chest.
Yes.
Thank you to Sports Hefe in the chat.
Alright, so we have the big key in its vanilla location here, so that's 3 locations left here in Misery Mire, 2 of which will have a item.
Zaphod heading over to east side of Misery Mire. Meanwhile, Moucheron is closing in on Landmos.
Alright, and Moucheron pulling out the silver arrows.
And why not? With the right timing, they will take down each Landmala in one hit. Nicely done by Moucheron. He will be joining Zaphod here in Misery Mire.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Moucheron decides to do, having not checked the purple chest yet.
That could be the key. That could be the key decision of this race, depending on where Hookshot is. The decision by Zaphod to go ahead and do purple chest when he did could be the difference maker in this race. Because as we've talked about, these guys were so synced for so long. But Zaphod finally desynced with Moucheron and finds Ether. That may be the difference.
Alright, so it looks like Moucheron is going to make the play on the Ice Palace here.
Yeah, at this point, it's almost certainly the correct play.
Meanwhile, Zaphod using the dash strats here.
Yeah, he could have just used the cape spam strat. So if you have cape activated, but if you spam your sword, the magic for the cape goes down extremely slowly. That would have been a little bit faster than his dash strat here. The dash strat really works if you have butter sword. So
Yeah, because that's right. Zaphod never did go up into Skullwoods to get those silver arrows, so...
there's a Wavy Coin, aka Quake, in Ice Palace. So that's the first of its 3 items. So, but what that does do for Zaphod, however, is that opens up Double-Chested Fairy for Zaphod. Is that where our elusive Hookshot is located today?
I think we're about ready to find out.
Oh. Immediate whistle or flute to number 5, and then, oh, I said whistle, I'm thinking original Zelda. So, Double-Chested Fairy, what hast thou in store for us today? So some of you might be asking, why did Moucheron not do an Ice Palace bomb jump? The answer is that if you are anticipating having to clear Ice Palace fully, and you have the Cane of Samaria, the Ice Palace bomb jump actually loses time. But again, those two only if those two conditions are met. If you're planning on full clearing, and you have the Cane of Samaria. All right, this could be the game right here if this is the hookshot location.
Yeah, this is the moment of truth here. There's 20 rupees and 20 rupees. So
Double-chested fairy not working out today. Actually, that's more like Big 40. Yeah. And our trackers just almost giddy with excitement here that that hookshot on pedestal is still alive.
And looks like Zaphod is going to be able to go and check the entire east side of Death Mountain and Dark World Death Mountain. I almost forgot about those locations.
Yeah. You know, normally... Oh, no. Zaphod falling down Death Mountain, but what I was about to say, though, is that normally, you know, East Side Death Mountain, both Dark and Light World, you check those first opportunity that you can. This is the first opportunity that our runners have been able to.
Wow. And meanwhile, Moucheron just finds a green rupee in the big chest here.
Big greener.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is the 3 items in Ice Palace.
Well, that's nice. He gets to skip almost half the dungeon. If that's true. I know I saw 2. I don't know about 3. Zaphod heading into Spiral Cave while Moucheron decides it's cold stare time. Getting a little cold in here, so put on some more clothes. Nicely done there.
Very good cold stare fight.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Probably would have been faster if he had just, because he's got half magic. It might have been a little bit faster to use the fire rod, but.
Alright, and Zaphod finds 10 arrows and our first shield of the seed.
Oh, isn't that cute? It's the Fisher-Price bait shield. Okay, so Death Mountain Hype Cave here. What do we have? We got Red Meringue, we got 100 rupees, Little Piece of Love, which actually gives Zaphod a full heart, triple booms, and... Where is that hookshot hiding?
Zaphod trying to set up the bomb jump here.
And he gets it. So the floating island is just a piece of heart, so runners aren't going to be going there. At what point do you YOLO into Turtle Rock? Do you YOLO after checking all of Dark World Death Mountain? Do you just say, you know what?
I think if it's Ether right now, Zaphod may just go right in there. And it is Ether.
Well, he's certainly opening Turtle Rock. I would want to check Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave first, but
Alright, looks like that may be what he's doing. So at least be able to see one chest in Hookshot Cave. And believe it or not, the hookshot can be in this chest because you can bonk over to it.
yep. Not only that, we've still got Spike Cave to check as well. Well, there's a mail upgrade.
Yeah, so that's the second mail upgrade that we have. So we know where all of them are. So Moucheron is, I don't see him not getting that mail upgrade. So we'll have red mail versus blue mail.
Red versus blue? Alright, and Super Bunny Cave, not much there, so... Trying to look at what we have left that our runners have not checked. I believe, I mean, I'm almost positive that Moucheron got all 3 items in Ice Palace. But folks, all we have left at this moment is Pedestal, Turtle Rock, Catfish, Mimic Cave, Cave Above Graveyard, I think King's Tomb, and Swamp Palace. So, I mean, are you ready for a hundo, boys and girls?
I'm ready for a hundo.
Everyone loves a hundo. To answer Lucius's question, je parle un peu de français. Mais très très peu de français.
Alright. I don't speak French, so I have no idea what you just said.
I said I speak very little French. Alright. So, Zaphod. Now, this could be critical here, and the reason I say that is because, remember, Moucheron has not found Ether yet. So, Moucheron cannot get into Turtle Rock at this point. So, if Moucheron decides to head to, say, Swamp Palace, or, like he's doing right here, Spike Cave, and finds the hookshot that way, while Zaphod is wasting time in Turtle Rock, this could be a difference maker. We're all kind of waiting with bated breath. What is... I didn't see it.
Just a fairy in a bottle. So...
Never a bad thing to have.
Yeah, but it's not what we want right now.
Yeah.
Alright, so Moucheron maybe heading up to Catfish now?
I can't imagine he'd be headed anywhere else right now. It is all about the hookshot. That most famous of items.
Yeah. I think so far in Turtle Rock, all we've seen so far is keys, so...
And there's just big love from Catfish, so that's not going to help anybody out today.
So that just helps us narrow down even a higher probability of Pedestal coming into play.
Yeah, the longer they go without a hook shot, you're absolutely right. The more I mean, look, the probability's already been set. I don't want to, offend any math purists out there, but it certainly seems, yes, that the longer they go without finding the hook shot, the more we think, hey, could be on the pedestal.
Alright, so we will be able to see another piece of the puzzle here from Moucheron. They will be heading into Swamp Palace. There is always the option, the possibility of having a vanilla hookshot.
It's true. There are a few ways to troll a randomizer player more than putting an item in its vanilla dungeon.
Yeah, especially when you typically will be looking for the items to be able to fully complete a dungeon. And there's the hookshot! Oh!
Rock was the correct play. Ladies and gentlemen, Zaphod Beeblebrox IV has activated Go Mode.
Oh, man.
For the longest time, for like the first hour of this seed, these two runners were neck and neck. It seemed like every 2 minutes we were turning around and saying, they're synced. They're in sync again. They're going the same. They're 5 seconds behind each other. But about after that first hour, there was a bit of divergence, and that divergence made all the difference. It started with Zaphod picking up the lunchbox.
Yeah, that one decision made the biggest difference.
You are going to see Zaphod full clear, go mode clear Swamp Palace, which means I'm willing to bet that Zaphod will finish Swamp Palace before Moucheron does.
Yeah, it'll be very, very close. I mean, we'll be able to see. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, assuming, of course, that Moucheron does left side, because many runners will opt to skip the left side of Swamp Palace. Actually, wait a minute. Hang on. No, Moucheron won't be able to finish Swamp Palace. Hello, he's got to have the hook shot.
So, I mean, your prediction of Zaphod being able to complete Swamp Palace first is still correct.
Yeah, it's true. That's right. I was correct, but it's not nearly as impactful as I had intended it to be.
Yeah, like you were pointing out earlier, we'll definitely be seeing a go mode Swamp Palace here from Zaphod. We'll likely be seeing a go mode Skull Woods. So Zaphod may be missing out on the silver arrows and half magic that were there.
That's true. What you'll notice about a go mode Swamp Palace is that Zaphod doesn't have to open a single chest.
It doesn't open a single chest. Doesn't even need the big key here either. One of the few dungeons that does not require the big key, being, of course, Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, and if you do the Ice Palace, Bomb Jump Ice Palace.
This has got to be frustrating for Moucheron to be. He needs 2 items for go mode. He needs ether, and he needs the hook shot, and he's nowhere near either one of them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Moucheron is there's not very many locations left that he can check once he gets out of here.
True. That's how you almost unequivocally know that you're behind, when you are down to one or two more locations to check.
Yeah. And we may actually be seeing one of those locations. He came over to the Village of Outcasts.
All right, if he hits the lunchbox, he'll be on the right track at least. But how long is it going to be before he dives into Turtle Rock? Because once he finds Ether, he's heading into Misery Mire. Then how long will it be before he decides to take the chance on Turtle Rock that Zaphod did?
Yeah, and like chat's pointing out here, he's likely going to be, full clearing Misery Mire, and once again, the items were so late in Misery Mire that he's, like I said, he's going to have to full clear, and that's just going to be a lot of time, pretty much being wasted. Well, I don't want to say wasted, but a lot of time lost there.
Yeah. And Zaphod, it looks like he's going to grab some safeties here. Can't say that I blame him. But Zaphod's going to head straight over to Skull Woods, knock that sucker out, and we'll be on to Ganon's Tower.
Oh, actually looks like he's heading to Ice Palace.
Oh yeah, he hasn't done Ice Palace yet. Oh my gosh.
I completely forgot about Ice Palace.
Yeah, well we watched Moucheron go through it, so...
Now, the good news is he can go mode Ice Palace, which makes it so much quicker than going through it while you're searching for items. You can do the Ice Palace bomb jump that we had alluded to earlier, which makes this a matter of minutes instead of, well, minutes saved, I guess. There we go.
Yeah.
I can words today.
It's okay. But Zaphod is kind of getting the Rando runner's dream here, being able to go mode both Ice and Swamp Palace. Those are the biggest time saves in dungeons possible, is go mode Ice and go mode Swamp. Those are the two ones you always want to be able to go mode. Zaphod is able to do it today. Because a lot of times you'll see runners avoid particularly Ice Palace like the plague, because it's so much longer if you have to search for items in it.
Yeah. Yeah, another dungeon that I like being able to go mode is actually the other dungeon that our runners are in right now, which is Misery Mire. Especially if you can get that big key early on.
Yeah, that's the problem though. Misery Mire always wants to troll you with the big key location. Now Zaphod looks like he's having some trouble with the bomb jump here. I wonder if he realizes Luigi is... Okay, there you go. Luigi's sprite, I believe, is taller than Link's. So makes lining up the sprite for that bomb jump a little bit different. That's one of the reasons I generally don't like to use any of the custom sprites other than the custom Link sprites because of the height for bomb jumping.
Yeah, different sprites. I mean, unless you use them all the time and the proper placement or the lining up, I guess you can say. For these tricks and these bomb jumps, it can be very, very difficult.
As you see, folks, Zaphod is pretty much at Cold Stare already. That is how much time an Ice Palace bomb jump can save you.
Right, and Zaphod being careful not to miss any of those fire rod shots, because Well, he does have a blue potion, but you don't want to use your blue potion here on Cold Stare.
No. Nice Cold Stare fight there. Very nice.
Right, and that just leaves us with Skull Woods now.
Zaphod will probably just march straight to Mothula. As you pointed out earlier, that means he's going to miss the half magic and the silver arrows. But with Tempered Sword, Blue Mail, and 13 hearts, I don't think that that's going to terribly adversely affect Zaphod in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to, the opportunity to watch Zaphod, but based on his execution and what he's done here, I really don't think Ganon's Tower would be too much of an obstacle without having those items that are in Skullwoods.
So we have seen yet again an example of the way version 27 of the randomizer logic likes to troll runners. So many times you must dive into pendant dungeons. It's and like in this game, you had to dive into pendant dungeons multiple times. Canis Samaria was in Thieves' Town. Power Glove was in Tower of Hera. And obviously the hook shot was in Turtle Rock. So you had to at least enter all 3 pendant dungeons. That is what version 20 tends to do.
Yeah, so with version 27, I guess it's really safe to say, just from what I've seen and what these runners have done so far today, that you can never really count out pendant dungeons.
No. Now Zaphod smartly there. You notice he's from the fire rod to the lantern because he was running low on magic. That could have been disastrous for him, but because he noticed it and was able to swap weapons, he's able to continue on and go fight my least favorite boss in this entire game.
Yeah. In my opinion, Mothula can die in a fire, with that fire rod.
Moucheron has the silver arrows to take out Vitreous, and goes much, much faster for him than it did for Zaphod here earlier.
And that is it for our Crystal Dungeons. So, Phantom Rio, you know what that means, right?
I think it means that there's a certain tradition that we need to go over and make the audience aware of today, ladies and gentlemen. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, 22 locations in Ganon's Tower in which the big key could possibly be. Which one is it going to be? Put your guesses in the chat right now. Ecos, what's your guess?
Let me see here. I think today, I'm feeling Bob's chest today. I saw Dr. Bobtastic here in chat. I'm gonna go with Bob's chest.
Dr. Bobtastic has to choose Bob's chest.
Well, we'll channel our inner energy here.
I'll say Bob's torch. How's that?
There we go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to enter the final dungeon of the game, or at least as Zaphod is about to enter the final dungeon of the game, we would like to remind you that if you are enjoying what you're seeing here, why don't you give Zaphod and Moucheron a follow. As I said before, they are putting in work for your entertainment. Done a great job here. We're at 134, entering Ganon's Tower in what was essentially an all dungeons seed. Nice work by Zaphod Beeblebrox. It's unfortunate that MoucheronQuipet just had a route divergence and didn't pick up the Ether Medallion until much, much later. That was really the main difference in this game. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, with I mean, I have to believe that if Moucheron did find the Ether Medallion, we probably would have seen, you know, like what we seen almost the entire first half of this race, where they were just neck and neck, mirroring each other in the same dungeons, doing the exact same thing. So, yeah, I'd had to think that, you know, once again, if that Ether Medallion was found by Moucheron, we would have probably seen a mirrored race the entire way through here.
Alright, so we are chest number 1, regular key. Chest number 2, regular key. Yeah, I was about to say, you find 2 keys. Are you going to go right side? Zaphod is going to go right side. And this just screws up all of our numbering.
It really does.
Of course, you said Bob's chest, I said Bob's torch, so we were specific.
Yeah, at least our guesses won't be all messed up.
That's right.
There's number 3. Alright, so the first 6 locations not holding anything.
So if you said 1 through 6, sorry folks, try again next time. Now look, Moucheron is, yes he is, heading into Turtle Rock. There's Bob's torch. I am wrong. I get to try again the next time.
So that was location number 7. We're about to see numbers 8 through 11 here. And this is location 8.
Numero 8.
Alright, so let's see here. If we had any guesses of 8. I think the only one that I'm seeing so far, no, we have Tech Guru, as well as Elemento P. And
Elemento P.
Oh, I like that. I didn't see that.
That is
that's a really awesome name.
I just remember when I was a kid, I thought Elemento P was 1 letter. Yeah. Alright, at any rate. So, Zaphod does not have silvers, so he's going to have to use 2 on each of the Gorias here. Yeah, he will have to do silverless Ganon, but I don't think that's going to be too much trouble.
Yeah, he's got a lot of safeties. I believe he still has the red goo from the digging game. I don't think I've ever seen him use that.
I think
as
you're
well as
right.
the blue potion as well.
So he's in good shape here. Let's see how his gauntlet is. Nice first room. Darn stall childs troll everyone.
Speaking of trolling, Moucheron getting hit a couple times there by the chain chomps in Turtle Rock.
Why do the chain chomps do more damage than any enemy in the game other than Ganon? I've always wondered that.
I would love to ask the original developers, what's the deal with those chain chomps?
I mean, as many people have pointed out, Turtle Rock is essentially a level, right? You got pipes, you got lava, you got chain chomps, you got turtles. Yeah, Zaphod with a very nice gauntlet here, and he's going to end up with a good landmost too.
Run to my favorite rooms here.
Go ahead.
So run to my favorite rooms here, the Wizrobe rooms, using the Cane Samaria.
Nicely done. Hits the quads, all the quad Wizrobes all at one cycle there.
Zaphod playing it safe, taking his time here in the torch room, making sure he doesn't waste any of this magic.
It's nice that there's always that full magic refill sitting in the corner there. And it's sad that the hookshot is, the hookshot's so far into Turtle Rock that you still have to go to the Mimic Cave.
Yeah. And Zaphod taking his time to check the few chests along the way here, probably looking for either another mail upgrade or those silver arrows.
And nobody would turn down Buttersword at this point either. Alright, it's time for Troll Dorm 2. Now, the original Troll Dorm told both of our runners earlier, so let's see if Troll Dorm lives up to that or if he will be... Nope.
Nope, Zaphod getting his revenge.
Vengeance. Just a
And the
$5 bill in the validation chest.
And Moucheron picks up their hookshot, so they are now in go mode as well. They've just got Swamp Palace to do, and then they're on their way to Ganon's Tower as well.
Alright, we got a double first round for Zaphod on Agatu. And 0 second round. And we got a single. Okay. 3 more hits for Agatu. 1 more hit for Agatu. There it is.
And we are on to Ganon.
Indeed. As you mentioned, Zaphod has plenty of safeties. He's got a... I think he has a... Did he catch another fairy? I can't remember. Point being, you're correct. He has blue goo. He's got red goo. He doesn't have silver arrows, but with a blue goo, I'm not sure he's gonna be fine. So. Oh, nicely done there using the corner or the wall there to offset some of the knockback from Ganon. Well done there by Zaphod.
Yeah, very well done so far. Oof, taking a couple hits there.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you know, he's got the safeties, so he'll just face tank.
All right. So far, Ganon being nice, not teleporting too much.
Don't do a commentator's curse, Ecos. Come on.
Oh, we love that, don't we?
Who doesn't? And now Zaphod is kicking himself, going, darn it, why didn't I look through Skullwoods? There's only 2 items and it's so quick to clear. But let's see how strong Zaphod's silverless game is. So far he's 3 for 3. There's 4. 5, 6. We're halfway there. As Adirondack Rick, our moderator, has pointed out in the chat, stay tuned. After this match, we will have Ozapone versus Fails right after this here on Link to the Past Randomizer on Twitch.tv. Don't close that browser tab. Don't type anything in that address bar. Stay right here.
We got just a few more hits here, and Ganon will be done.
It's almost pork barbecue time. It is pork barbecue time. That smells delicious.
Indeed. So
GG's to Zaphod. And as he walks in, Zaphod Beeblebrox has finished with an official Speedruns Live time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, 46 seconds. He moves on to the next round of the tournament. Unfortunately, MoucheronQuipet will be out of the tournament, but good luck or good work getting this far. Nicely played by both of our runners.
yeah, very well done. And like we pointed out before, if you just tuned in or recently tuned in, the big difference here, the big swing in momentum to Zaphod Beeblebrox the Fourth's favor was he decided to go and check the purple chest, which had ether, which led him into Turtle Rock getting the hook shot first. Took Moucheron just a little bit more time, but regardless, amazing run for both these racers. They were neck and neck for easily the first half of this race, and doing exactly the same thing as each other.
Moucheron is not going to quit. He's going to go ahead and finish Ganon's Tower, which I don't blame him one bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this old man has got to go to bed, but this race is not over, and I do not mean to in any way disrespect MoucheronQuipet. So I'm going to call in a pinch hitter. Ladies and gentlemen, I am signing off because I'm an old man who has to get up early in the morning, and it's already 2300 here in Qatar. So I'm going to go ahead and high five to my man, the Shades here. Go ahead and call the rest of this race, maybe interview these runners.
Will do. Thanks for bringing me in here. Hope you guys are having a good race so far. Hope you enjoyed this race. I know I have been. So looking forward to seeing the rest of this, and of course our next race coming up here shortly.
All right, and just get confirmation. Zaphod does not have a mic, so there will be no interview here. All right, so while we have Moucheron here, I am going to see if Zaphod's next their next opponent has been decided yet. Give me one moment here.
Look at the chat was saying Zertinol.
Yes, so that is the case. So the next stage of the bracket here for Zaphod Beeblebrox the Fourth will be against Zertinul.
Oh, and I just saw there was a sword upgrade on the pedestal, vanilla sword on ped.
Oh, jeez.
What are the odds of that?
Still would have loved to see that hook shot there, though.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun. But I think this race trolled them enough, especially for poor Moucheron, who just had no luck there, finding, you know, not checking that purple chest when he could have. Yeah, and you know, someone who's just coming in for the commentary here for the next race here, I wanted to comment on this race here. Yeah, I agree with a lot of the chat that the sync that a lot of this race had was just unbelievable. Like, more than at least a good third of the race was in sync with each other. That was insane.
Yeah, there were so many times where both of these runners were in the exact same place, doing the exact same thing. Pretty much, for the most part, their routing was, you know, pretty much spot on with each other. And like I said, the only difference that we had was that purple chest play. Everything else was, you know, they were pretty much doing it at the exact same time. So
yeah, it's like what I've always said is when it comes to these races, it's about what routes do you take and which ones pay off. One person made a big routing divergence, and it ended up making the deciding factor.
Yeah, Moucheron making good use of the ether medallion there, taking out all those stall childs.
Very quickly handled there. Not something you see a lot of runners do. I mean, you do have to wait for the cutscene of using the ether medallion, but it does, you know, if you're not confident about taking them out quickly enough, using that can still end up saving you a little bit of time.
Yeah, Zaphod, welcome to the chat here. Yeah, the two items that you had skipped out on in Skull Woods, you did see one of them from Ganon. That was the silver arrows. The other one was the half magic. And once again, GG to you. Great race.
Congratulations, my friend. Looking forward to seeing your race with Zerton, who's in the chat as well, so this should be good. So Moucheron now working his way up through the torch areas here. But yeah, the reason I'm here, folks, is don't go anywhere, because Echoes and I aren't going to take over for the next race here. We got Ozapone versus Failstream coming up. All of us here are gonna be sticking around for that. Also, look forward to another amazing race without any wasted time.
All right. And that being said, the next race. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from this one. The next race should be a really, really good, really fun race. I believe that is race number 2.
Yes, it is. It is indeed the race number 2. So we should be seeing how these two make up for the follow up their first race. According to Adelana Greg here, since Moucheron is climbing the tower, we're going to let him finish first. So you might be a couple minutes behind, but nonetheless, he wants to finish this up. He wants to end this on a high note. Let's let him have his moment.
And Trolldorm living up to his name. Moucheron gets knocked down there. Whew, almost gets knocked down again.
Yeah. Oh, that was close. Trollorm. Yeah, I think he was mad about Zaphod owning him earlier.
Oh yeah. So I'm not gonna let both of you do that.
But in the end, he did anyway. Okay, shout out to Airbomb there for the meme. Yo, Moucheron, great and all. I'm gonna let you finish. Zaphod had one of the best races of all time.
And Moucheron getting a little bit unlucky here with Aghanim.
Well, to be
Here we
fair, Zaphod had a little bit of trouble with him too, though he did pretty decently, all things considered. There we go. He didn't do too bad. So Moucheron going to take on the big pig here. Get through this. Get ourselves one more serving of bacon before we end this particular race. Actually, given the time of day, pork would also be an acceptable choice too, which is funny because my wife's about to make pork for dinner.
Oh, that sounds good right about now. I could definitely use some pork.
Oh yeah. Well, pork chops to be more specific.
Hey, we can turn Ganon into some pork chops. I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. Hell, he's already got the fire with the fire bats. Or if nothing else, we can always just keep one of those torches lit. You know, you torch glitch one, use the other one to cook them. You know how it is. So a little bit of heads up for this next race here with Ozapone and Failstream. Ozapone is going to be 1-0 going into this race. So basically, Failstream needs to win this one in order for there to be a game 3. We're going to be really interested to see how he runs this particular gamble. Oh no!
Oh.
Also, Sports Hefe High Five. Pulled pork sandwiches are the bomb. Get the right kind of barbecue sauce for that.
All right, take 2.
Rick, so are we. That's why we're doing it.
Exactly.
Yes, Song Leaves, there is indeed a race after this. We're going to have Ozapone versus Failstream immediately following the conclusion of this race here, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have just a couple minutes of a break here between races, and then we'll be starting up the next one pretty much immediately thereafter.
And as our restreamer OPT lawyer points out, yeah, y'all got to see the magic of restreaming set up live. Yeah, the restreamers are the trackers, the unsung heroes of the Randomizer tournament, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so quick shout out to both of our restreamers and our trackers here. We have OPT lawyer as well as Jeremy Trammer here, both doing a fantastic job making sure that you guys get the best possible experience for these races.
There we go. Moucheron finally taking out the big pig. GG. Good race, my friend. Sorry you can't continue on. But Echoes, what's that SRL time?
Moucheron finished with a second place time with 2 hours and looks like 1/10 of a second.
Wow. And yeah, as Analytic Rick points out, shout out to Phantom Ryu, who did an amazing job as he does on commentary. I do not envy me, folks. I have to follow up that mastermind. So wish me luck. I've worked with him many a times. He is amazing.